The most important thing is I can hear you, Simon.
Okay, mate.
Oh, hang on. There you go. You sorted it.
Ah, that was completely accidental. I don't know how the hell I did that, but
Perfect.
I'm here.
What it was, Simon, is you got a gut feeling, eh? How I've led into that.
That's what it is. Gut feeling. Let's press that button and see what happens. Yeah, right. Okay. Far away, Chris. Far away. I'm here now, mate.
No, lovely. Right. Well, I have the wonderful pleasure of having Simon Stoddard here, who writes an excellent column in our wonderful Hastings United programme. Personally, myself, I'm a big fan of printed programmes. I've done videos before for this podcast about trying to keep the printed programme. So I'm all for keeping it going. But I've got Simon here. I want him to talk about his regular piece. But first of all, Simon, how did you first become a Hastings fan? Should we kick it off from there?
Oh, God. It goes back many years. It goes back about 45, 46 years, the mid-70s, when I hadn't been in Hastings that long. And I used to buy the Hastings Observer, and I used to read the sports page, and Hastings United Mark 1 were knocking around then in the old Southern League. And I kept reading the match reports and so on. And I kept thinking, I must get up there and have a look, see what it's like. And I eventually got up there. October 1976. Wow. I went and watched Hastings United versus Ramsgate in an FA Cup tie. And United won 2-0. I sat up in the main stand, and I loved it. And I was hooked. And the addiction started from then. 45 years now. Wow. It's a long time, but there's people I know who've been going up there 50, 60 years. I know people who've been going up there a lot longer than me. I'm a boy compared to some, believe me. I do know old Clive. There's Clive Stunt, lovely old boy who's been. He's in his 80s now. He still goes to games home and away, and he's been following them for at least 65 years.
Oh, so brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic support. So that's how you got the bug. So you've been following for many years. How did the whole program gig come about? How did that come about?
It started writing stuff started with the old fanzine, actually, the Ghost of United fanzine, which I first came across in, I think it was around 1992, 1991, something like that. I saw a couple of lads standing outside the game one match day, plugging this magazine in a red cover, the Ghost of United it was called, and fanzines were just getting going in those days. And,
yes, remember those days, yeah.
Yeah, and Hastings United had their own, and it was Dave Moore and Steve Weeks were the two guys involved. Steve now lives out in Sweden. I haven't seen him for years. Dave, funnily enough, I saw him just the other day at the Cray Valley game for the first time in years. So he's still in Hastings. But I got involved with the fanzine and started writing stuff for that. And I eventually took it on and produced it myself for about 9 years. And then I got involved I was asked if I wanted to write something for the program.
Simon, was that after the fanzine stopped, or did you then pass that over to someone? Or?
No, I if I recall correctly, I think I managed to do both at the same time.
Jesus.
Quite challenging, really, because when you write a fanzine, you call a spade a spade. You say what you like. But in a program, you've got to be a bit more politically correct. And I remember agonising a couple of seasons ago when I was putting together my gut feeling thing for a home game, whether to use the word bollocks or not. Can I use the word bollocks or not? I thought, bollocks to it. I will, because I will. because Jurgen Klopp used it. You know, the Liverpool boss. He used it in a BBC interview.
There you go.
I thought, well, if it's good enough
Green
for the
light.
if it's good enough for the BBC, yeah, you've got it. If it's good enough for the BBC, it's good enough for the Hastings United programme. So I used the word bollocks, but I agonised over that. But I eventually decided to use it. In the fanzine, anything goes.
Yeah.
Anything goes.
Yeah.
But with the programme, on and off, I've been doing stuff for the programme for about, I don't know, 20 or 25 years. I suppose, when I think about it. Back in the early days, we used to print it ourselves at the pilot field.
Oh, okay,
in the secretary's office, in Tony Cousins' office, underneath the main stand there. There was a printing machine there, small printing machine in the corner, and we used to print our own program. So the Hastings Town program, as it was then, it wasn't a glossy production like most other clubs had, because virtually everyone else sent their stuff off to the printers. We did it ourselves, and whilst ours might not have been the glossy production that other clubs had, it was bang up to date. It was bang up to date. If we had a game on Tuesday evening, it had all the stuff on it from Saturday and Sunday. If there'd been games on Sunday, you still don't get that with the printed program today. With some places, it's just not up to date because you've got print deadlines. Everything's got to be at the printers by a certain date. And I found this very, very recently with when Chris Agutter moved on. And then when Gary Elphick was appointed to replace him, I found exactly that then. I was writing stuff and it was technically out of date because other developments had taken place by the time you bought the program on the Saturday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I know what you're going to talk. I know what you're going to raise though regarding the program, to go digital or not. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to come to that. I'm not. I'm very much against digital. So that but we'll talk about that. But no, I was going to say, from our point of view, from the supporters club, we print off stuff that we give out, and we do these. We found this with being out of date immediately. We do these fixture lists, and we had all this fixture congestion. We printed something Tuesday afternoon, and by Tuesday evening, two of the games were already wrong that we'd printed out. So and then we'd printed like 1,000 of them, and it was just, oh my Jesus,
it's frustrating, isn't it? Yeah,
slightly annoying. Simon, so you, just for those who don't buy the program, okay, I mean, I'm a regular. I'm 46. I'm of that era that still buys the program. Not as many buy them now, but luckily at Hastings, I feel there's a healthy amount of people that do, which is good.
Yeah.
Your sort of column, Gut Feelings, been going for donkey's years. I mean, it's a great mishmash of non-league, because we can be in our bubble in Hastings United. You do mention a lot about what's going on outside Hastings United, a bit about the league in general. I was just looking at through some of my old programs, talking about records for clubs, talking about players who've moved on from the club and how they're getting on, things like that. That when you're in that echo chamber of Hastings United, it's for me personally, it's nice to just see that, this guy, I wondered what he was up to. Oh, he's doing all right, and all that stuff. Yeah. And I always like it. It definitely sounds like it's in your language. There's no Stasi that's gone through it beforehand, before it's been printed. It sounds definitely like your words.
Yeah, what you read is what I write, and it's not. I don't think there's nothing really controversial in there. It's just you try to introduce something that keeps people interested. It doesn't have to be football. Because most people that go to football, they're interested in other stuff as well, cricket, rugby, whatever. Yeah. I've got a great working relationship with Paul Hoggard, the program editor. Never met him. Haven't talked to him yet. But this is the internet for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the internet. It's marvelous what you can do. And there are occasions, many times, when I've written my program notes on my phone from my favourite watering hole in Angeles City in the Philippines. Because I haven't been able to do it recently because of
Yeah.
COVID. I haven't been able to get out there for the best part of 2 years.
Yeah.
But I've done my stuff on my phone out there, and the things you can do on a phone these days. When I think back to my first days of doing this stuff, when I bought a second-hand electronic typewriter, an electric typewriter, and I thought, wow, check this out. This is the business, you know. And now you'd go to a museum to look at something like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And you just shake your head and think, did we really use those, you know? But at the time, it was the business, you know.
Yeah.
But going on to where we were with digital and paper programs and so on, I do hear what people say about the print. I always buy a printed one. I always do, wherever I go, and I always buy the Hastings one. Always do. I saw a survey in, I think it might have been in Twitter the other day. I'm sure I've done a screenshot of it somewhere. Twitter is a gold mine of information. There's all sorts of stuff in Twitter, isn't there? You stumble across all kinds of stuff. And there was a survey about
not always good stuff, but yeah.
No. You're right. You got to take the rough with the.
Yeah.
But there's all sorts of stuff in there, and there was this survey about asking people what they thought about programs. Do they want the digital version or the printed paper version? And I don't know how many people have replied to it, but 84% preferred the paper version. So there's an awful lot of people out there who prefer to stick with buying the paper program, and there is a lot to be said for it. The other side of the coin is, and I chat with Paul about this, or exchange emails with Paul about it, about going digital, and because it will happen eventually, it will come eventually. Is that it makes it easier for Paul? It would make it easier for me. You don't have to worry so much about the print deadlines. You can change things. There's lots of other things that you could do. I mean, you could have a program with a direct link to a video of something that's happened, or video of games, or something like that. The possibilities are endless. You can do things with digital that you can't do with the paper one. But I do understand why people like buying a printed program, and like I said, I always buy one myself.
Yeah, I mean, my personal thoughts, and I've done a video recently with Chris Tuck, who's non-league programs on Twitter. He does a lot of stuff on that, and about saving the printed program. I mean, I don't see why we can't do both. To be honest,
yeah.
I don't think people read online programs if they're honest. They like you, particularly say your things like your gut feeling opinion columns. I think they're personally, for me, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just I'm one of the ones that are dying off, but I think it's a great read before match day. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's just that, I suppose it's those traditions, isn't it, that you just get used to. I don't know, I mean, maybe I'm a Philistine, Simon, and I just don't want the internet to take over, maybe. So
yeah. Well, thanks for the kind words. Thanks for the kind words about the column. I love doing it. It's always a challenge, because there are occasions when I'm trying to fit it in with work and so on. Because I'm still working on. I work on the railway. I work shifts. It's 12-hour shifts, and sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge getting it done. But Paul asks me to do 2 pages now. It was 4, but they reduced the size of the. As you probably know, they reduced the size of the program a season or 2 ago. So that in a way made it easier for me. But every program is the same. I will start thinking, right, okay, I've got to cobble together the next program. What am I going to write about? What am I going to waffle on about this time? And by the time I've got it all done, I'm leaving stuff out, because there's always stuff about. And I'm sure, well, you'll have seen, if you read, as you read it regularly, you'll see that I grab stuff off the internet, I grab stuff off Twitter or wherever I see it, I think, oh, that looks good, I'll have that. And of course, again, this is where you can combine digital with the printed thing, because
Yeah.
I can just do a screenshot of something, cobble it together, and send it off with the email to Paul, and the next thing, it's appearing in a printed program. So it's clever what you can do these days. And
I did like that screenshot you put on. What was it? The man who he was in his own search party. Can you remember that one?
yeah.
Oh, that did tickle me.
I don't know how long you were doing the search party before you realised they were out there looking for him. Yeah, I know. All to do with football, but so on. Let's have a laugh, you know.
No, that tickled me. That did.
Yeah. The internet, Twitter, newspapers, wherever you like. There's so much material out there, and of course, there's stuff going on. There's stuff going on at games too. Because what I've started doing now is keeping an eye out for what other clubs are doing with regard to the programs. And very recently, I went to the game at Phoenix Sports, digital program, Three Bridges on Saturday, digital program. There's more and more clubs leaning towards that, and we will eventually go that way too, because there is the cost as well. I don't know how much United spend on it. All costs money.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit there, Simon. You were just saying, I think I heard what you were saying. You were saying that obviously there's a cost price to printing, and that's why a lot of clubs are going to online. Yeah.
I think cost plays a part in it. Convenience. It is easier, I'm sure, to go digital.
But it's not better, Simon. It's not better. It's not better to go digital.
I know. I do hear what you say.
What's that Charlton Heston quote? That quote that only through my cold, dead hands will you stop the printed program.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Well, programs will carry on as they are for a while. Yeah, of course they will. Yeah. But I think things will eventually. I think eventually we're going to go digital. I have thought about reviving the fanzine. There are people that say it'd be good to see the fanzine up and running again, because I did enjoy doing that.
I'd love to contribute. I'd love that to happen, but it's easy saying it, and then there's another thing getting it together, isn't there? So
it's fine. It's finding the time to do it, and so on. And it was always great fun standing outside the ground with my little table, flogging stuff, and I always used to make sure the club got some money from it as well. So everyone was happy. I covered the printing costs, and I think for the last couple I actually did them on the photocopier at work, and got away with that. I don't know if I'd get away with it now. This was a long time ago. The last fanzine was out in 2003, I think. I think it was the very disappointing relegation season of 2002, 2003. It was around that time, I think, the fanzine came to an end. I'll just get into the time where I just didn't have the time to keep going with it. And it eventually stopped, as a lot of them do. But there's a lot of stuff to write about out there. But with the program, you have to think a little bit more about the correct thing to say. You've got to be a little bit more careful about what you say. But I'm glad you like it anyway.
Not just put any old bollocks in there.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, I did. I agonised over that. I thought, can I use this word or not? Yeah, and I did. Yeah, if it was good enough for the BBC, it was good enough for the
absolutely.
Hastings
Simon,
United.
It's excellent. Just quickly though, has anyone ever in all your years been there sort of tried to question anything put in there, or that you can't say something? Have you ever had that issue?
Yeah. I've had some people tell me that I'm writing bollocks. Yeah, we'll use that word again in a different context. I have been accused. But it doesn't matter if you're writing for a little semi-professional club's fanzine, whatever. You're putting yourself on a pedestal, and people are going to have a pop at you if they don't agree with what you say. And of course there are times when you get it wrong, this and that and the other. But I think half the secret is just, okay, I got that wrong. Apologise if you have to, or stand your corner if you think you're right.
If you're not right, if you're right, no apology.
Yeah, I remember Mick Mapleston, who took the club over after Mark Gardner, the first of our lottery winners all those years ago. After he moved on, Mick Mapleston took over, and he saw something that I'd written in the fanzine at the time, and he was extremely unhappy with it. But he got completely the wrong end of the stick, and I don't think I ever did convince him that I was actually I can't remember exactly what I said about it now, but I was actually paying him a compliment. But he got completely the wrong end of the stick, and he wasn't happy about what I wrote. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth when you're writing stuff like that. But the fanzine was great fun. But I like doing the program too, and two different challenges there.
Yeah. Well, and long may it continue. I mean, are you any thoughts about hanging the pen up, or are you going to carry on? And
no, not yet. I'll keep soldiering on with it. When this COVID business clears up and when the Philippine borders reopen, I'm hoping to get out there, and I'll be out there more than I am here.
Yeah.
I hate this time of the year for a start. Of course, the trouble is you miss the football, but you can keep up with it, can't you? Because this internet thing, it's a marvelous piece of kit. And out in the Philippines, you've got a 7 or 8 hour time difference, depending on what time of year you're out there. And an evening game here is kicking off at 3:45 in the morning out there. But I never have any problems staying out that late, so I can always find somewhere to follow the game, And it won't be long, but it won't be long before maybe you'll be doing a film commentary on a game and streaming it live. It will eventually come.
Maybe, yeah.
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 But there's nothing like standing behind the goal, is there? There's nothing to beat that.
Oh no.
Just enjoying the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's nothing like being there. There's nothing like being there. Well, this Simon, just again, look, from my heart, great little piece, gut feeling. I 100% recommend anyone that walks in that bloody ground, get your program, turn straight to the gut feeling. We need to hear what Simon's gut feeling is. It's always entertaining and informative. But also, he's spoken about the fanzine. If we could get that started again, that would be fantastic. And that's maybe another conversation for another time. Simon, thanks very much for your time, and have a good evening, sir. And I'll see you at the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, tomorrow night we'll be there.
Yeah, be there, mate. You take care, Simon. Yeah.
Cheers now, mate.